Brooklyn Independent Television.
Not your typical open house. This one is for art. The Flatbush Artist Studio Tour gives people an opportunity to visit dozens of artists in Flatbush. Jenny Passy Rodriguez met up with a few of them to talk about what inspires their work.
I was always baffled that the perception was that you had to live in a kind of rundown loft area in order to be an artist. And here there were many artistic people here. And I felt that we needed to share our gifts with the world.
Karen Friedland is talking about Victorian Flatbush, an area in Brooklyn known for its Victorian-style homes. It's in this neighborhood she and several artists started the Flatbush Artist Studio Tour. And on November 7th and 8th, nearly 400 people went from studio to studio to take in the artwork of 23 artists.
I lived in this community for 20 years, and I've met the most vibrant, dynamic, creative people that I've ever known in my life.
Friedland uses mostly acrylic paint to produce artwork for 3 series: the human figure, elephants, and chairs.
I fell in love with doing chairs very early in my art career. I think because I had a favorite chair in my parents' bedroom, and that was where I would cuddle up, that's where I would go to think, that's where I would go when I didn't feel well.
In each of her pieces, she pays tribute to the Brooklyn Bridge, a symbol of her adoptive home.
I've loved Brooklyn, and I want to bring it with me wherever I go and whatever I create.
Artist Bruce Zeines looks to a 15th century painter as a source of inspiration for his surreal drawings.
My strongest influence is Hieronymus Bosch, and people see a lot of that in my work, but what it is automatic drawing, which is the composition develops as I work. And I allow what I see to just emerge, and sometimes I try not to force or push any particular image. It's what's coming out of my own subconscious as I'm working.
To create the black and white drawings, Zeines works with scratch boards.
You start with a white surface that gets covered in black ink, and then it's etched out. They're basically etching tools that you use to draw. It's the same pen points. These are pen points, you see, they see.
Zeines hopes the weekend-long studio tour will give him the exposure he needs to promote his artwork.
Well, I think the art world is rapidly changing. There's more artists and there are opportunities to show. Really, this becomes one of the few venues that I have to have people come in. I always think of my pieces as kind of like this kind of crazy party that all these weird characters showed up for. And they have a kind of very other timely feel to them, as if it is from some time that was way before any of us could remember.
But for Jessica Dias, a Pakistani-born artist, her artwork is a reflection of her native land post 9/11.
This was inspired by when the Taliban occupied the Swat Valley in my country. They burned down girls' schools and actually boys' schools as well, but and they wanted to ban girls from going to schools. You can be traditional, but you can still value education, and so I painted a picture of a man in traditional attire taking his daughter to school, and if you can see, there are girls in the background here going to school.
Dias paints images of everyday life and religious customs in order to convey social and political commentary.
I hope at the end that people will be more informed. This is not just painting. For me, it's political. It's sending a message out there to people that my community is not as mainstream media portrays it, that my community is, there are many positive aspects of my community. I'm going to fill in those gaps and absences that are currently present in mainstream media. I hope to get the message out that way.
For Brooklyn Review, I'm Jenny Passy Rodriguez.